Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. We're here driving the bus with Inti and Waffles in the background.
Yeah, we couldn't kick her out, so she's going to stay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, don't worry. She's going to sit over there. And if she tries to play with us, out she goes. All right.
Yes, sir. I have some words for the public.
Yes.
Just to always is good to remember that this video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is not a financial advice. You should always do your own research when putting your hard-earned money on the market.
Exactly. All right. So today we're going to have an episode talking about quite a few things. Basically, how Bitcoin is going to be your monetary policy going forward. And you get to vote that on the next bailouts, right? The next bailouts, right? When Bitcoin is the global reserve currency, you get a vote. And we're going to explain how that works. Also, we're going to be talking about my warning that I got on YouTube. I got a warning from yesterday's video. It was so much fun, and I can't believe it just got taken down a few minutes after it was finished streaming for violent content. And I mean, yeah, I guess talking about Bitcoin going to zero is violence.
And when other people does the same, there's no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly, right? And we're doing some Bitcoin TA. So let's start off with that for today. So here we have Bitcoin has taken off, right? It's beautiful. I like how it came back down, created a new higher low, and then popped up again. The only thing is just there is this trend line that's lots of trend lines here that's keeping it tamped down. So I could probably see this thing might even do a sideways action and report back down. So don't be surprised if that happens. And get the kids all freaked out and scared. So because we're getting into the oversold territory here on the indicators. So it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. But also, what could also happen is that we could break out. We could also break out and finally go all the way up to 8,500. Now let's take a look. Where do you think? Where do I think that this thing is going? Well, if we do an AB equals CD, right from here, I think right from here to here is really where we would do our AB equals CD. And we're going to duplicate that, clone, and the last bottom, oops, let's go, come on, there we go, right here. So look at that, right up where, the line in the sand was, where I was thinking, oh my God, this thing's going to, if this thing breaks that line, we're going down. I didn't think we were going to go down this much, but yeah. We did, and we're going to be back up there. Where is that? That's wow. That is closing the gap. Amazing. So how would you trade this? Well, there's several ways to trade this particular setup here to go up to that level. You can set your stop loss here. Let's see how much you would. If you were to buy it here, is there like a good enough risk to reward ratio? Now, remember, I told you guys to buy it down here and coming down into this. Sell half and hold the rest all the way to like 100K and forget about it. Just walk away, right? If you had did a 5 or 10x leverage and you did that, right? I'd go to another exchange and never look at it again. Because this is going to get scary, right? It's going to come back. It might come back and try to spook you out of your trade. Yeah.
Could you move your picture so that people can see the chart?
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you for reminding me that. Because oops, oh darn. Let's see if I got that. All right, come on, picture. Where are you? Alrighty, let me see if I can do that here. I'm gonna send this to the back. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know. Fill screen, preview, scale, send to. Oh, I hate that. Transforming, filters, scaling, enable preview, lock to preview, view scaling, add. Where the hell is order? There it is. Move to the bottom. And now I could probably move. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm having trouble here. Hang on, just give me a minute. Oh, there we go. So that should be better. There we go. So now you guys can see that. So let's just zoom back in. So if we wanted to trade this, right? I remember we were saying auto fit, right? First, if you're already in this trade, hey, you know what? You're good. You don't need to go. You can go and trade on another exchange, or hold that trade until you know we're 100K, right? Because I don't think we're coming back down here. Set your stop loss. You can set your stop loss to break even, right? At this point, for that particular trade. Now, if you're talking about the next trade, right? Ignore the fact that we're gonna have a different stop loss, please. Just ignore that. That's not important. This is a different trade. So, with that said, let's take a look at what our risk to reward ratio would be if you were to just buy in here. So you'd have to put your stop loss right there, right exactly where the other stop loss was, but not the break-even stop loss. And then let's see here. Let's see what our risk to reward ratio would be. Oh, that's not bad. That's 2 to 1, right? That's perfect. I mean, you could buy here, risk all the way down to this level here, and see if Bitcoin takes us up there. And I think we really got a shot of doing that. You could also go, okay, you know what? I want to get a little bit of a better positioning, because that's not playing from exact position of strength. And you'd be right. You would be absolutely right. Let me just zoom in on that so that you can see where we're at. You'd be right. Playing from up here is not a position of strength. I would like for us to at least come back down to this the 13 EMA before you get in, or wait for the 13 EMA to come up to that price before you get in. At the very least, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get a chance to get back down here, but it could happen. Right? Anything could happen. This could go sideways for a little while and then go back down, and then you can get a better entry point. So that's basically up to you. From this point here, you can get you can start the nibbles. Right, is one way to trade this. Is like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to risk a lot of money on this. Maximum loss is $50 if it were to drop all the way down here. But if it comes back down, I'm going to add another $50 bet to this thing, so that that my total losses will be $100 if I'm completely wrong and it comes all the way down here and stops me out. Because keep in mind, the market likes to abuse people, so I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and we get wiped out this one, which is a break-even anyways trade, and then we get wiped out down here. Likes to do that, so don't assume. Remember, when you're trading, right, you have to assume that the market will not do what you think it's going to do, or what your trading plan thinks it's going to do. It could do completely opposite. Nothing is guaranteed in the market, and you know this. And so do not expect anyone, don't look for anyone on YouTube or someone on TradingView to always have the right answer. That does not exist. Absolutely does not exist. The only thing you have is probabilities. And it's a higher probability that we're going to go higher, right? But there's still a probability, a percentage chance that we break down here and go lower. And you have to accept that. that this is a possibility and it could happen, and you must accept those losses. You must be able to accept the losses. So, for example, if your losses are like 1%, should just this thing go wrong, you are doing it right. You are trading correctly. If your losses are actually just 1% or 2%, right, you're doing this correctly. Yeah, you're not going to be, in most cases, if you're starting off with $1,000, that's like you're not going to make yourself rich overnight. Well, that's how it is, right? You have to, nothing in this world, right, comes like making yourself wealthy overnight. You just can't. If anybody tells you that, you should walk right away and not be interested in what they have to say if they're telling you you can be rich overnight. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it is possible. But it's much better and much it's less riskier that you could lose everything if you take your time and go slowly. Isn't that right, Inti?
Of course. I mean, the promise of getting rich fast is what most of people fall for, and that's not a reality. It's like a really, really, really small percentage of people. The real people that become successful or that really become rich, it takes years. It takes a lot of work. It's not out of nothing. It's not out of thin air.
Exactly. All right, with that said, let's head over to our topic of today. Notice how I did, if you checked on the link in the description below, I have this tweet that you could head down and like, but I'd prefer you to like this one. So, but we'll talk about that one in a second. Yeah, this tweet, right, had 800 votes, and you know what, it's not really a accurate comparison of how many people want bailouts and how many people don't want bailouts, right? I know I didn't probably word this nicely, but you know, I asked whether or not if you could vote for bailouts, would you support the bailouts, right? And I mean, the support has to be like yes, what the government's going to do, because you know what, honestly, the government's not going to bail out people fairly. Accept that as a reality and move on. Long as there's ability to bail out 100% of the time, without exception, the government will not make the bailout fair. Get that through their head. Okay, so now if you accepted that point, you have to accept unfair bailouts or no bailouts at all. Right? Those are the two choices. Because a lot of people a few people who did comment on this said, well, I support bailouts of the Main Street. I mean, dude, that's never going to happen. It doesn't matter which type of government you have, whether it's a Democratic, whether it's a Republican or socialist left-leaning government. They're going to bail out their rich friends, and they're going to give you scraps every single time. All right, so accept that and then decide if, hey, you know what, do you think these bailouts are fair? Do you want bailouts? And it doesn't matter which side you land on, right? Let's just say you like bailouts and you want the bailouts to occur as best the government will give us, right? That's fine. Don't feel bad about it. Just say you like bailouts and accept it. And then if the rest of us, right, don't want bailouts, that's not fair for us, because you know what? That means that you're actually just stealing our money to give to, you know, both the poor and mostly to the rich, right? So that's just not right. And I obviously vote for no bailouts, of course, for anybody, because it's just a plain theft, right? And Bitcoin allows us to do that vote. How does Bitcoin allow us to do this vote? Well, a hard fork, basically. A hard fork, basically, is the changing of the monetary policy of Bitcoin. So you could effectively, so for example, in the future, let's just say these corporations do the exact same thing, which they will, right? Because they just can't help themselves. in the future, and let's just say the Bitcoins is the global reserve currency. Right, and you can check out what hard fork is. I've left this link in the description in the link in the description below. And basically, right, this allows Bitcoin to be forked off into a different monetary policy where they can expand the money supply. You're like, what? That's crazy, right? Yeah, but effectively there'd be a copy of every single cryptocurrency. So you'd have that money on that expanding money supply and the money on the non-expanding money supply, the current blockchain. So let's just say these criminals at the government and corporations decide, hey, you know what, this Bitcoin thing, man, there's just not enough money, man. We don't have enough money, and we just ran out of liquidity. Well, what do they say when they run out of liquidity? It means they ran out of money. They don't have enough money, right? Can you imagine if you just were to go to the bank and say, hey, you know what, I can't pay because I ran out of liquidity. Can you just, float me some more cash? You know what they would tell you? What would they tell you, NT? What would they tell you? They tell you to get the hell out of here.
That's a catastrophe.
They tell you if you ran out of money personally.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
As a personal individual.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to the bank and said, hey, I can't pay. Can you help me out? What would they tell you? Get the hell out of here.
Yes. Or get in debt with us.
No, or they'll take your house. They're going to take your house and car and everything.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
To say, come up with the money, or we're going to take everything.
But if you're an enterprise,
that's different.
That's different.
That's completely different, right? So this hard forking allows them to go and try to go off on their own with another currency to give them the bailout. But with contracts, you could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick with the Bitcoin's monetary policy of 21 million at all times and no extra coins. And so if you want to go ahead and do that, go right ahead, but I'm wanting to be paid in this Bitcoin, not your government coin crap. And then with technology, because I'm actually trying to build that with Pandora's wallet. Pandora's wallet is heading in that direction. Is that you'll be able to get paid in their government coin, and it will instantly get transferred into Bitcoins to the coin that you choose the monetary policy of. And this is the better way of organizing our finances, so that, hey, everybody gets what they want. If you want to get an inflated coin, that's fine, but hey, pay me in the coinage that doesn't get inflated. I'm sticking with that one. And so this is what I see the future is going to be like. Don't expect there to be one coin to rule them all, right? That's not going to happen. They're going to try to dethrone Bitcoin over and over again. But as long as you just vote, hey, you know what? This is the monetary policy that I agree with, a fixed set of coins, they're not going to be able to change you from going away from that particular coin, because you know that you'll be increasing its value over time because it's very limited. It's a limited supply that cannot be changed. All right, moving on to the next topic, which is my yesterday's video. Oh my God, it was so much fun. Guys, I enjoyed it so much. I was laughing my head off, really having a good time. I tried to keep a straight face on that one, but I couldn't. And yeah, I really would like to have that video back, because I don't even have a copy of it. And you know what? That makes me feel like I need to do the same thing that Ivan on Tech is doing. So if you could help me out by heading over to this tweet, right? The link is in the description below, and hitting the like, retweeting it, sharing it with other YouTubers to help spread the word that, hey, you know, I got this warning. I'd like to get this video back. It's not a bad video. I didn't say anything bad or or have any violent content or dangerous content. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I would really like to have that back. I know that's the probabilities of YouTube actually with this crisis coming to my rescue is low, but hey, let's give it a shot, people. All right. With that said, let's talk about the Oh yeah, I forgot to mention private jets. Oh my god. Well, anyways, we'll forget about the private jets. But yeah, they want to bail out the private jets, even though they're still making money. That's ridiculous. But yeah. All right, so let's talk about Pandora's wallet, right? We've increased the prices, right? But hey, you know what? If you're still interested in joining the Telegram group, right? You can pay just 1 month subscription and join the Telegram group forever, and you won't be removed. You don't have to pay for an annual subscription. There you'll see my portfolio. You see what I'm buying. You see. Also, you could also join me in the trades and stuff like that. You see the trades that I'm making and so forth. And also other people are sharing their trades there in that group as well. So join us. Another bonus for purchasing Pandora's wallet is that I'm going to be working on a token to help build up Pandora's wallet in the direction where we have it as a central exchange hub, a decentralized exchange. That allows you to manage your cryptocurrencies, keep possession of your cryptocurrencies, and still trade, because that's where we need to go, so that governments can't steal it from us and so forth. So that is my plan, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So help me out by purchasing a subscription, and we will have a brighter future if people like me and other developers out there, you help other developers out there build out the space, so that we don't have a totalitarian regime where that they get to bail out their friends and that are making money, and we get breadcrumbs and basically inflation, and I can't buy any gold. I can only buy Bitcoins at this point, and that's because of our whole financial system. All right, well, let's head over to the questions and answer period now of this evening. How's it going in there in the chat room? Everybody behaving themselves, having fun?
Yes.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
Everyone be nice people. So we have Billion and says, Davinci, do you think if the US government introduced a crypto coin as digital dollar, and if it's an ERC20 token, this may actually provide the biggest use case for Ethereum at the moment? So Ethereum to the moon?
Yeah. I mean, it will help Ethereum a lot. I think Ethereum's still going to the moon anyways. It's just not going to happen overnight. Nothing's going to happen overnight. So don't expect it to, even if they were to come up and say, yeah, we're using Ethereum we're planning to use Ethereum for our Fed coin. It'll get a little bit of a bump, but don't expect it to go mooning, right? Should that happen, because that's not how the market works. So, but it is positive. It would be a positive thing to happen to Ethereum. No doubts about that. All right, next question.
All right. So here we have a question from Zachary Daddy. Mm-hmm. He says, what do you think about privacy coins such as Zcash, Monero in this time of crisis?
Privacy coins. I think privacy coins are a very vital part of the cryptocurrency universe. I think they help us understand their functionality and make sure that they do work, because we need to test these things out, because there's no way of knowing that there's a hole in these privacy coins, and because they're out in the wild and people are trying to hack them, eventually somebody will find that there's no hole in these things, or somebody will find a hole, and then we'll be able to clear them up before they can be used in a more global sense. Also, privacy should be the first thing of every single cryptocurrency. It's unfortunate Bitcoin didn't have that come out first, but now with the new upgrades to Bitcoin, right, Taproot and Schnorr signatures and all that stuff that's coming out, we're going to have more privacy in Bitcoins, which is extremely important, because without that, governments can say, well, you know what, that coin over there, that coin's bad and you can't have it, and that destroys the fungibility of Bitcoin, and of course, exchanges would have to comply with that kind of fungibility, and even decentralized exchanges will get hurt by that, because if they can point to a coin and say, hey, that's bad, then even if it moves through a decentralized exchange, which can't be stopped, it still be tracked to the next person, and that person might get burned by that coin. So yeah, we need those privacy features in Bitcoin, and I think I support the privacy features of other cryptocurrencies in different ways. So because every single cryptocurrency out there, it has its own niche and use case, and if it's useful to you, you should use it. Period. All right, next question.
So this is from Alex Crypto, and says, why there's a capital gain tax on scarce assets such as gold if we convert our dollars to gold, since dollars purchasing power diminish over time? We don't make profit due to huge inflation.
No, because they understand that. I mean, the governments and the central banks understand that assets that do not that they could, or most likely control the inflation rate, so that it actually more or less stays with the real inflation rate. They understand that they get to tax you and rape you even if you do everything. If you just buy gold, save gold, right? That they want to be able to get a hold of their own money, right? By taxation. So all that taxes actually goes to an actual bank, because they take that money. The government takes that money and pays interest to a bank that printed the money. So this is the way that they get to rob you even if you do see the whole issue of how our monetary system robs savers. So if you realize that and you save, okay, well, I'm not going to save dollars or your currency, because I know that that's just going to steal my wealth. They have a new form of making sure that they still steal your wealth, and that is through taxation, right? And it's criminal, and that's how it is. That's where we're at, right? They got away with it when they created the Federal Reserve Act, and then pushed everybody else into central banking, right? So that the banking system is always on top and always going to get paid. Because you are cattle to them, right? Because they just create money out of nothing, and then they get the government to point a gun at you and give them the money. So that's that. That's why you have to pay taxes. And so what I suggest is that when you buy gold and silver, you buy physical gold, you buy physical silver. And how many people out there, when they purchase, you have like a cell phone, right? For example, you buy a cell phone, right? And then you sell it. No, most likely you sell it for less than what you got for, what you sold it for, right? Obviously, right? But you don't mention that on your tax form, right? And even if you did sell it, if you purchased something and you did sell it for more than what you got it for, most people don't bother putting that on their tax form and letting the government know. So if you buy physical gold and silver and you need just to survive, right? What's the point of telling them when you sell just enough to survive off of? It just doesn't make any sense. So if you want, I would suggest you just hold those gold and silver coins to cash out, and keep the cash to yourself. Whenever you buy something, just buy it and just not bother saying anything. Of course, you can't go big. Of course, you would never be big, meaning that you can't go on lavish cruises and go trips around the world and stuff like that. I mean, it's just for survival purposes. You can survive and not have the government come down on you for trying to survive. But if you try to, if you want to escape and you want to have like a bigger life, you're gonna have to plan a little bit more than just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna sell this one coin every time I need to pay rent or pay for food or pay for minor expenses, basically. You have to plan a lot more, and there's ways around that so that you don't have to pay taxes, because a lot of rich people understand that, hey, you know what, I don't want to be a slave, so they end up paying zero taxes because they organize themselves in such a way that they're not a slave to this evil financial system to pay off the bankers with interest. All right, next question.
Right, this is from a super chat from Super Google Lee, as always. Which do you think will be more profitable before the end of 2020? By use holding, picking up some good stocks on the cheap now, or buy more bitcoins? Buy more bitcoins.
Interesting. Well, I would say buying bitcoins, and I want to point out why, because like that's very critical. I just watched a video from Mike Maloney, and I always saw this, and I just keep forgetting. I always know this, and I keep forgetting to tell people about this, right? If you buy stocks, you could make money in stocks if you trade them. You don't make money in stocks by buying and holding for the long term. And I can show you. You could say, "What? What are you talking about?" Well, Mike Maloney, right? And I'm gonna probably leave the video description below. But he had a nice video yesterday, and I'm gonna try to pull it up here, where he talked about showing you how for 25 years you actually didn't make money in the stocks after the Great Depression. 25 years. Now this doesn't include dividends, of course. Keep that in mind. It doesn't include dividends.
Okay.
In this chart that he shows, right? So, but what's critical about that is that it shows. Hang on, I'm gonna bring this up in a second. What it shows is that when he indexed it to the inflation, right? Because you can see that the stock market did go up in dollar value, but it didn't really go up in purchasing power. And here, let me just bring that up right now. Here we go. So, Mike Maloney has two charts here. One is the value of the chart, and one is the log chart. So you can see here in this log chart, right? It went up to $300, right? And then losses. Basically, what this chart shows is that if this move is huge, very huge move, because you can't see it down here. You can't see it here. It's a massive move, right? And we're going to have the exact same massive move because this lasts like 80%, 90%. And we're going to have this same thing here, right? We're going to lose 90% on the stock market. But what gets interesting, if you watch this video, is when he does the indexing here. Let me just bring up the indexing. Right, let me see if I can find it. There we go. This is when he indexes it to the CPI. This is based on the government BS statistics of inflation.
Okay.
So it's a lot worse. It's a lot worse than what's actually being reported, right? So in this example, for 63 years, you did not make any money from the peak of the peak of the stock market boom before the Great Depression to all the way to the 80s, somewhere in the mid 80s, where things started to take off for you effectively, based on the value of the money losing value. So you didn't actually make any money. If you exclude, this is excluding excluding dividends, of course, right? If they paid out dividends, then there's a little bit of a difference there. But assuming they did not pay any dividends, you actually did not make any money going into this, going from peak to finally when we exploded out on the stock market, and that's an incredible thing to watch. Now, there is an option where you can make money trading in and out of this, where you use gold to go, okay, well, at tops you sell your gold for them and buy the market, and at bottoms you trade your gold for stocks. And yeah, true, you can do that. You will have that opportunity to do that once again, but we're far away from that, right? You can see that we're so far away from buying stocks right now. Is not funny. We're going to have to come all the way back down to have a 90% loss before I would say you should buy some stocks. All right. I hope that answered your question, Googly. But that was a great question that I think everybody would like to know a little bit now. That you should not be in stocks right now. You should be in hard assets until stocks lose like 90% of their value.
Okay, so this is a question that is very recurrent, and it's for the people that bought the subscription to Pandora's wallet. How can they access to the Telegram group? Because I've seen that people is having trouble with that.
Yeah, just send an email to support@davincicodes.net, and they will get you in the Telegram group, right? They'll help you get you in the Telegram group. So once again, support@davincicodes.net. I'm going to put that in the what's it called, the chat group. So you could actually you could put that in the chat group as well, Inti. Support@davincicodes.net. And I'm going to also put that in the link in the description below. Right here, just say email support@davincicodes.net for access to the Telegram group. All right, there you go. So there you go. That's how you gain access. We will have an automated system there. Once you subscribe, there's an option to enter in your Telegram group ID. Not everybody has a Telegram group ID. You're going to need one in order for you to get into the group. Please provide a Telegram group ID and allow people to actually add you into the groups. There's an option where you can prevent people from adding you into groups. So you're going to have to disable that on Telegram so that we can actually add you. And also, later on this month, we're going to make that automated so that we can add and remove people easily. If you have purchased this unlimited access, you won't be able to change your username. Is another caveat. You're gonna have to stick with that username. If you want to change your username, you're gonna have to pay for a different subscription. We're gonna cut off that's the only caveat for keeping your unlimited subscription. You're gonna have to stick with your same username, same email, username on Pandora as well, and same username on what's it called on Telegram. So yeah. All right, one more question, and then we're gonna call it an evening or the morning because it's morning.
No jokes, man.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Mr. B 1923. Says, do you expect a super chat actually? Do you expect a Bitcoin price to rise to halving, or is it the stock market and general economic picture going to suppress the price short term?
Well, I mean, I predict with high probability that Bitcoin this month will do well. Will do well for going forward in this next quarter. Most people will say, well, it's a halving. Well, generally Bitcoin does well in the second quarter. And also, Bitcoin slowly starts to move itself upwards after the halving. It's not instant, like, oh my God, we're going to the moon, but it just, slowly starts to stutter up and down, makes higher highs and higher lows, right?
Approximately how long does it take?
And so it takes about 12 to 18 months.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yes, exactly. So in 12 to 18 months after the halving, you will see Bitcoin start to really increase in value rapidly. Why is that? Well, I mean, if you take a look, I've always read many times, over and over again, throughout history, whenever there's an inflation, right? When they add more money into the money supply, it takes about 12 to 18 months for seed prices increase. Well, the same applies when you have deflation, meaning the money supply is being sucked out. It takes 12 to 18 months to see the difference in the money being sucked out of the economy, to see prices actually come down. And in this case, right, for Bitcoin, because in order for prices to come down, Bitcoin's value has to go up. So if you want to be able to purchase more stuff with your Bitcoins, right, you're going to have to wait about 12 to 18 months after the halving, after the deflation. So buy now and just hold and wait. Be a hodler of last resort. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and if you didn't, well, you know what, the other button works as well. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you haven't seen this video popping up right here, please check it out. Talk to you guys later. Bye now.
Bye.